Uncomfortable Combos. It's your boy, the one with the Scarface, your boy Scarface, and welcome back to another episode. Thank you guys for always tuning in. Every week, you guys always support, and when I don't get a chance to do an episode, you guys message me, you guys hound, and that's why I'm like, I gotta give these people the content. Last week, a lot of things happened, wasn't able to get the video out, but hey, we back. So shout out to everyone who continues to listen, everyone that's here from TikTok. What's up? How are you guys doing? Make sure you guys leave us a 5-star thumbs up wherever you're listening to at YouTube, Spotify, anywhere. Like, help the podcast out, share it, like it, leave a review, 5-star. It helps. It goes a long way. And if you guys want to buy some merch and pins and things like that, link is in the bio so you guys can purchase those as well. Again, you don't have to do none of that. Just like, comment, leave a 5-star review. That's all I ask for. Okay. Thank you guys again for every week tuning in. I absolutely love you guys. You guys are amazing. And this week's episode, I actually wanted to do on something that's been popular over there on the TikTok, right? Has been a lot of these guys are kind of vanilla, right? They're kind of vanilla, not really spicy. Hey, how do I get my man to do this? How do I get my man to do that? And especially on the lives, if you guys haven't jumped in my lives, shout out to everyone who jumps on the lives. Every Monday and Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I go live on my TikTok and IG, Scar Talks and Scarface. And one of the biggest things that we have been getting lately is, how do I get my man to be a little bit more spicy? He's vanilla. He doesn't really want to try new things. He doesn't really want to do things. But that's why your boy's here. We're going to make a whole podcast on this. So send it to your man, or send some of these clips to your man. Okay? Because at the end of the day, like, if the relationship, somebody asks a question, she hasn't been intimate with her man in 2 years. 2 years. That's too many. That's, if you're that long and not being intimate, how long are you going to wait? Are you going to wait for him to cheat on you? Are you going to wait for him to be with somebody else? What are you waiting for? And if you feel like they're getting vanilla or not spicy, for you, this is what you got to, here are some tips for you, and if these tips don't work for you, then you're going to have to make a harder decision. Is this really the person? Because the person that is with you should be fulfilling you in every which way, right? Mentally, physically, intimacy, like all that, right? So let's get into the 10 ways that you can try to help your partner be a little bit more spicy. I should create a course on this stuff. All right. So the first one that we have is start with open communication. Importance of discussing desires and fantasies in a non-judgmental way. How to bring up topic gently, avoiding pressure, and active listening and respecting boundaries. Now, I always say, you guys know, you guys have been following me for a little bit. The big thing for me is I want to have great communication with the person I'm with. And that's great communication, like when we're being intimate, not being intimate. In all aspects of life, I want to have a great communication. So, like, say being intimate was lacking. Hey, like, let's do this. Let's try this. Or what are some things that you like? What are some things that you want to do to me? And things like that. That's where you start, including other things. But if you're waiting for your person to just out of nowhere suddenly decide that he's going to be super extra, he's going to give you more flavors out of the 32 flavors that they got. You know what I mean? Like, instead of just being vanilla, they're going to, give you a little bit something different. But that's why you got to stop waiting, because the more you wait, the longer you're just going to, when you finally bring it up, you're going to be like, I should have brought this up a long time ago, right? So you need to bring it up, especially when issues arise. And if you feel like your guy's being vanilla, how to completely stop a guy from being vanilla from the get-go is you call him out in the very beginning. Okay, if you call him out in the very beginning, trust me, he's going to want to learn. He's going to want to fulfill you and do things to you that you want to do. Because when they're chasing you, and some guys will do anything to get with you. They'll change they'll change this. And if you tell them that you want this and this and this, they're more likely to do it. 10 years down the road, or not, 10 years down the road, less likely they're going to do it. They're just be like, the fuck, what's wrong with you? And things like that. But that's why you have to have that great communication in the beginning. And now, like, it's going to be a little bit harder if you've already been into this relationship for a little bit longer, but you can still bring up the communicate. Like, you can still talk about it. Bring things up. Don't be afraid. Let him know. Be like, hey, what are some things that you want to do? What do you want to like? And I'm not saying it in a weird way. Like, whatever you want to do, we'll try it. Like, if there's something you haven't tried, at least do it one time. And if you don't like it, then guess what? We don't have to do it again. Just let that person know that you're willing to try new things, try different things with this person. So not to be afraid, right? So start with great communication, or some form of communication. That's what I always tell people. That's the biggest thing. Again, for me, is I want to have great communication with whoever I'm with, and that just means in all aspects of our relationship, not just being intimate, like physically, mentally, like just everywhere. Great communication instead of having to wait for you to, you know what I mean? Like, there's some people who are like, oh, like one day he's gonna turn into the most spiciest person. No, not gonna happen. Come on now. So bring up the communication. The second one that we have is focus on emotional intimacy first. Strengthen the emotional bond. How deeper emotional connection can lead to more adventurous physical connection. And I think people just lack the emotional part, because they straight get into the physical part, right? It's you kiss me, you turn me on, and then boop, slide it right in. And if that's what you need to do at the moment, then go ahead and do that. There's a time and place for quickies, right? There's a time and place for that. But also connecting with each other, that emotional level, like getting to that, like when you're kissing, you're doing this, you guys are in the same, frequency, everything's just dialed in, and you guys just ready to go. You're more likely to do more freakier shit if you do that, compared to if you're just like, hey, you kissed my neck, I'm turned on, let me slide it in. Um, So maybe focusing on that first, the emotional side of it, even though guys are a little, they don't really want to focus on the emotional side because, let's be honest, guys are guys and they really don't want to, most of the time, they just want to slide it in. Let's be honest. They just want to slide it in. That's what they're there for. So the next one that we have is introduce changes gradually. How to ease into new experiences rather than just jumping straight into them. Explore small changes like new lingerie, toys, or different settings that aren't overwhelming. And that's true too. Like, you can't just be like vanilla and then all of a sudden the next day you want them to be completely different. That's not how it's going to work, right? Maybe a little bit more. Maybe get some lingerie that's missing that middle part, right? That sexy stuff. Or the nipple part. Or just don't even tell them you got some lingerie and put some lingerie on, or include toys. Obviously, don't go get a 12-incher if your man's not a 12-incher, because then the guy's going to be like, what in the fuck? Like, how am I supposed to compete with the 12, or something like that. So just slowly introduce new things. Like, for example, like if she doesn't have any toys, like fellas, if she doesn't have any toys, you don't necessarily have to get her like a massive one, right? Get her one of those, like the flower ones, the little bullet ones, the one where she's going to be like, hey, I need you to warm them up. I'm on my way home. I need it to be nice and wet. Bro. As soon as you get home, she's going to pull your pants down and she's going to go to town. She's going to be like, this man turned me the fuck on because he knows what he wants and he wanted me to be nice and wet by the time he got home. Okay? So slowly introduce things because, again, guys are weird too. They get intimidated by toys and things like that. So you wouldn't want to do something super intense like get chains or anything like that to tie you up, handcuffs and stuff like that. Just slow down, girl. Like, I know you could eventually probably get there, but you don't need to get there right now. Slow your roll. Slow down a little bit, okay? Slowly introduce stuff, and then slowly they'll get comfortable, and you might be able to introduce more intense stuff after a while. You know what I mean? Like tying them up, like doing this, doing that, teasing. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that you can introduce. I think maybe starting around the lingerie part, getting a little bit more sexy lingerie. There's that lingerie that doesn't have it shows the lips down there, like straight, easy access. That shit's hot to me. Like, I like that. It has to be a sexy one. It can't just be like a weird looking one. They got to be sexy, super sexy. And then from there, you can slowly maybe introduce, go get a strap on and tell the guy, hey, yo, whip this thing on. Or, hey, I'm going to whip it on to you. No. Okay. And then maybe something to restrain your hands a little bit. You know what I mean? Like maybe that's going to turn him on a little bit. Restrain your hands and then do it doggy. Like, maybe that's going to turn him on. He's going to be like, oh shit, I like this. I like this. But it's like a slow process. It could, again, because if they're like vanilla, and you're trying to get them to super spicy right away, it's going to be very difficult. And if you can, but slowly, don't scare them off. Don't be like, what the fuck? Who did I marry? You know, even though you should have figured this out before getting married, to be honest. So introduce things gradually. Don't just jump to the deep end. uh, the next one we have is make it fun and playful. Emphasizing intimacy can be playful and experimental, incorporating games, role playing to break the ice. Now, it can always be fun, like different things that you can do, different uh, like there's those games, those card games that you can get where like, hey, you got to do this, hey, you got to do that. That's fun, and it might help you try new things that you've never done before. Oh, suck the booty. I'm pretty sure that's not on there, but you know what I mean. Hey, you have to do this. Hey, you have to do that. Now it's your turn to do this. Doing different things like that. It can be fun. It can be playful, and also flirting with your person. You know what I mean? Like that's playful too. Flirting, uh, touching her a little bit, like teasing her, saying that, oh, I want to do this, or even just like having her reach down and grab your stuff, and then she's gonna be like, oh my god, I kind of want it right now. And things like that. There's always ways to be playful and flirty, uh, and be fun. Like if earlier we said introduce changes, maybe adding a game and doing that. Maybe that's the way to go. Okay. Uh, but if you make it fun and playful, not like super, hey, like you have to do this or we're done. It's slow. Hey, let's try this. Hey, let's try this. Oh, I got this game. I want to play this game with you. You know what I mean? Like I saw it on Instagram. I saw it on TikTok. There was a TikToker who had it and they said, oh, we should play. Like I thought it would be fun. So I bought it and let's play it, and things like that. So there's different ways. Again, your partner has to be open to this too. You can't force them. If you're forcing them to do it, they're probably not going to change. You know, if you're like, no, we have to fucking play this game. If you told me that, like right before playing a game, I'd be like, I'm not having fun anymore. Like as soon as you talk to me like that, I'm like, not having fun. This is kind of like, I don't like, you know what I mean? Like you don't want that type of attitude. Just be like, hey, this again, if they're willing to do this for you, because there's some people who are just comfortable or are just vanilla and there's nothing you can do about it. Like that's it. That's all they know and that's all they want. And this is why you should have figured that shit out first before actually getting into a serious relationship. Because look at you now. Over here, you wanting to get fucked up. You wanting him to throw you around. You wanting him to choke you. You wanting him to do all this stuff. And now he doesn't do it because why? Because you thought he was going to change when he was super vanilla when you first got with him. And you're like, oh, you eventually change. I love this one position man right now. Jesus Christ. Now look at you. Now look at you. All right. So the next one that we have is use positive reinforcement. Reinforce and praise positive experiences to encourage more. Focus on what your partner enjoyed rather than what they didn't. And positive reinforcement, I would say, is like, hey, I really loved when you did this. Like, say you made him do something. Oh my God, babe, it felt so good when you were doing this to me. Like, you need to do. And he's going to be like, oh shit, she liked that. Yeah. I was killing it. I was putting it down. Kind of like build his ego up a little bit, like that way he can be like, I'm going to do that next time. Because when I did it that time, she like went crazy on me in a good way, not a bad way. Okay. And like crazy and like, oh, she got super turned on. And just telling him, hey, like, I really liked when you did this. I fucking love it when you do this to me. Like, it just gets me so wet and horny. You know what I mean? Like telling him stuff like that. If a girl tells me stuff like that, I'm like, girl, I'm going to be doing that shit to you all the time. Cause I need it to be dripping. I need to want to have a throw on a life jacket because it's so wet down there. Like I need to be like protecting myself. I don't drown from how many juices are coming out of this woman right now. You know what I mean? Like that's how I want to feel. And you get that from your partner, like listening to them, paying attention to their body language. But again, we're thinking about people who are more vanilla. So maybe giving them that positive reinforcement. Excuse me. Letting them know, hey, yo, it's like, I like this. I like when you did this. Keep doing this. Fuck me up like this, right? Keep doing this and like throw me around like you did it here, and things like that. And this is just you saying something, it's not you like Again, don't be like, hey, I need you to fucking do this. I need you to do that. I need you to do this. No, just be like, I loved it when you did this. Hey, babe, remember when you threw me up against the wall and you just like had your way with, like, tell them stuff like that. Be like, that had me so turned on. I think about that night all the time, and things like that. And then guy's going to be like, damn, she really liked that. I'm going to try to do that shit again. So she remembers, maybe it's going to turn him on too. So, um, the next one that we have is educate together. Suggest resources like books, podcasts, or workshops in intimacy to explore together. Make it a bonding experience rather than a chore. Don't send, of course, send them stuff. Be like, hey, did you see, like, look at this. We should try this. Oh, hey, like, let's look into this. Like, don't be like, hey, I need you to watch this and I need you to report back with a book report. Okay. And then we're going to go through and we're actually going to test something. No. Be like, hey, like, it goes back to when we were talking about the games. I found this game. We should play it. It's going to be fun, or like if you get like a Kama Sutra book or something, like explore different positions, be like, oh my God, I've always wanted to try this position. Or, okay, just be like, hey, I don't think I would say that because then they would be like, well, who are you thinking about doing it with? Some guys are weird, right? But you can be like, oh shit, this position looks hot right here. Yes, let's try this one, babe, and things like that. And he's going to be like, you know what? I think so. I think we could do it. I remember when I got that book introduced to me and it had a bunch of different positions, and I was like, all right, we need to try some of these. Because you just learn a bunch of different, some of them you're just like, okay, you need to chill the fuck out with like all that. That shit does not look fun. But there's plenty of books, plenty of podcasts. Like, even if you want to sit down and listen to this podcast with your partner and be like, hey, okay, step aside. I'm going to talk to him. It's me and you, buddy. It's me and you, pal. It's okay to be a freak. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Don't be afraid that people are going to judge you. Don't be afraid that they're going to say this. No. At the end of the day, your woman, she's the one that's, sucking that D. You're effing her, and things like that. You're the one doing that. Like, she's the one, you need to please her. It's okay to be a freak. There's some shit that I like to do that maybe some other guys don't like to do, but I don't give a fuck. As long as she's happy, that's all that matters, because the freaker I am, the freaker she's going to get, and you're going to have this amazing experience. So, okay, it's okay to sit down and listen to this stuff. She's not showing you this just so you can get upset. She's showing you this because she's trying to show you that it's okay. It's okay to be a freak. Join the club. Join the Sucio Club. It's nice over here. It's fun over here. It's all right. Okay? So, educate each other. Get books, listen to podcasts, games, all sorts of stuff. There's plenty of free content out there. Go visit a sex shop with your partner. Be like, hey, let's go see like what we can find. I think it would be fun. And if you see him looking at something a lot, maybe he's interested in that. He'd be like, oh shit, like I kind of like this shit right here. You never know. So definitely educate yourself together. Explore their comfort zone. Encourage your partner to define what they are comfortable with and what they might not, and what they might want to explore. Acknowledge the spicy means different things to different people, and that's so true. And so I always give this example. It's funny, like when I do my Dirty Little King series, some people are like, that's not freaky at all. I do that shit all the time. And some people are like, I would never do that. It's because everybody's spicy level is at a different place, right? For some people, somebody's kink that they feel like it's super kinky, and it might turn them on a certain way. It might be normal for somebody else, and then like what they're doing might be vanilla to this person, or vice versa. Like what they do is they love to do this, and they just, you know what I mean? Like everybody has a different spice level, and that's okay. There's no right amount of spice. There is a right amount of spice, because if you're too vanilla, for the most part, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, ladies, for the most part, girls like to be spicy. They like different shit. They like to explore different stuff. They're not like, if the guy just sticks it in, gets his, and then that's it, a girl's gonna get bored of that shit real quick. I'll tell you that right now. And the guy's gonna get bored too, because it's just gonna be like, he just wants me to, all right, here we go. And then that's it. No. But if you make it a great experience, it's gonna be great for everybody. And again, fellas, everybody's spicy level is at a different, there's no normal, there's no like a specific, like there's no too weird. Okay, maybe there is a little too weird. Some people are fucking wild. But everyone's spicy level is different. And if you're struggling, it's, you got to slowly introduce new things, get better at being spicy. And it's crazy. You're probably going to find things that you thought you didn't know you were going to enjoy. I never knew I was going to enjoy as much as I do as like, restricting the airway, pulling of the hair, and things like that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you might find some things that are really going to turn you on, and you got to be open to exploring too. Again, this is all if that person is open to getting better, to learning things. Because if they're just like, nah, I'm good. No, what we got is perfect. You guys aren't going to get anywhere. I'll just tell you that right now. Like, you can't force somebody to change. They got to be wanting to learn, and just sitting down and having that conversation with them too. Like, telling them, hey, like, I want to be more spicy with you. We're young. We're only here for a little bit of time. Let's make it a great experience, right? So the next one that we have is non-physical intimacy enhancement. Start with non-physical spice like flirting, dirty talk, subtle gestures, or intimacy. Enhance emotional and mental arousal before diving into physical changes. Now, something that I said, and I'll say it again, I'll say it all the time. If you send me videos or pictures and stuff of you like doing some things, that shit turns me on. And I'm like, the moment I see you, it's on. Like, I'm just being honest. And it could be the same, like and to me, that's like the girl flirting with me flirting back. Or even just in person, just flirting, smacking her butt a little bit. She grabs you a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. Just as long as she's not whipping it out in front of everybody, right? Like, there's like subtle things that you can do, whisper things in their ear that you want to do, or just be like, hey, like, let's go do this shit real quick. Or hey, let's go to the car real quick. Like doing little things like that. Like flirting can go a long way. Like dirty talking, be like, oh, girl, like, I love it when you do this to me. Or I love it when you do, like, when a girl tells me that, oh, my God. That shit turns me on. Like, oh, when we were doing this, next time I'm just going to do this. The way you were doing it was so good. Like, I'm just like, girl, where you at? We about to fuck. But there's a bunch of different ways to do it. Like, there's no normal way. Everyone wants to think that, hey, like, if you do A, B, and C, everything's going to be great. Fixed. No. Guys are different. People are different. There's different ways to get that result, And so that level of flirtiness, because, like, sometimes you'll say something and some guys will be like, stop. Like, why are you saying, you know what I mean? Like, some guys are fucking, oh my God. But you got to get them comfortable. You can't just be right away like, all right, I'm gonna introduce flirting, and like out of nowhere, you're just like, I want you to fuck the shit out of me. They're gonna be like, babe, like, shut up, like, because some guys don't like you saying that. Girl, you can tell me whatever you want. Be like, hey, like loud too, but like, babe, I want to fuck the shit out of you. I'd be like, look at everybody else and be like, hey, we're gonna be right back. We're gonna go handle some things. Like, I don't care. It's normal. People act like sex doesn't happen. Like, it's not an everyday thing. Plenty of people have sex all the time. Just because I'm a little bit more comfortable talking about it doesn't mean like I'm weird about it. I think you're weird because you don't want to talk about it, And I'm pretty sure like if you can flirt with somebody like that at that level, it's a whole better experience. I'm just telling you that right now from experience. So the next one that I have is be patient and non-judgmental. Acknowledge everyone's comfort level evolves at their own pace. Patience is key, and not everyone will have the same taste. And like, this is why like you have to slowly introduce things, because again, everybody's a different level of spiciness, and some people, their spiciness level is their max capacity. Like, they're not looking to get anything past that. And then that's when you have to make those tough decisions. Is this something you really want? Like, is this vanilla person something you really want? Because it's not going to get better. Like, if you really crave and desire all these other stuff and this person can't give it to you, I feel that it's only a matter of time before you actually go and try to get it. Because that's why some cheating happens, is because like if you lack intimacy, right? Or that type of intimacy, yeah, you're fine. But then when somebody's like, hey, I'll do that to you, you're kind of like, I kind of, no, I can't because I'm with somebody. But then be like, oh, I'll do this, this, and this. And then they start thinking because that's something they've been craving, their body has been craving. And then they go and get it, right? And that's because the person that they're with wasn't willing to compromise and be a little bit more spicier. Uh, so it just, again, this totally depends on if your person is willing to want to get better or want to learn things. Because if they're stuck on, no, that's not what we're doing here, it's going to be very, very, very difficult to get him to do anything. You know what I mean? Like, and if you're sitting there waiting for somebody to change, girl, you better bring that shit up ASAP. Or if it's a guy, you better bring that shit ASAP because you're just going to be sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. And then finally, when you do bring it up, you're going to be like, fuck, I should have brought this shit up a long time ago. And if you're in the beginning of a relationship and they're kind of vanilla and you want them to change, right now is the time. Right now, because they're willing to change and do things for you now. And you bring it up, you're like, no, you need to fuck me like this. They're going to be like, yes, ma'am. Later on, 10 years down, you're going to be, I need you to fuck me like this. And they're going to be like, the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, you're going to get two different responses. And that's why, again, whenever you have an issue and whatever, it doesn't matter if you guys have been talking 2-3 weeks, bring that shit up. If you don't like it, and if it makes them run away, guess what? They were going to run away eventually, right? So the last one that I have is mutual consent and respect. Reinforce the importance of consent in all aspects and acknowledge that both partners should feel safe and respected at all times. Well, duh. uh, but I think the biggest thing is, I mean, why the consent is in there is because some guys, they're just not into that. And or girls, there's those pillow princesses who just don't like the prude girls who just want to lay there and they don't want to do anything. That's what they like. And if that's not you, then trust me, you're gonna end up craving that later on. That's why, like, if it's not satisfying you now, what makes you think that you're gonna enjoy it more later? Because usually it doesn't go like it goes from like spicy, spicy, and then down and up, or like it starts down and you know what I mean? Like they're just shitty being at spicy. Not one day they're just gonna be like, you know what, completely change, and then all of a sudden spicy like crazy. No, that's not gonna happen. Uh, so again, you have to make those. It doesn't matter how good they look. Like if they don't satisfy you in that area, trust me, it's gonna be a problem later on. Like it's gonna be an issue. That's why like even size, if the size is not doing it for you, hopefully something else is doing it because it's gonna be a problem later on. And same with their spicy level. Like if it's not as spicy as you want, it's gonna bug you eventually. It may not bug you now or in the beginning because you guys are in the whole puppy love stage and things like that. It may not bug you at that moment, but give it a few years and it'll probably bug you a lot. And why would you want to wait 5-10 years for you to finally bring something up? Because now you're already deep into this relationship, so it's a little bit harder to get out, right? So, I mean, that's why I wanted to do this episode. It was mainly because there's a bunch of vanilla people out here who need like some sort of push. It's okay. Like that's why it's okay to be freaky. It's okay to like to do stuff like this with your girl. Don't be afraid. Like stop worrying about the guys. The guys aren't sucking your dick. The guys aren't fucking you. Like it's the girl that's fucking you. It's the girl that's sucking your dick. She's the one making you feel good. But you're more worried about people are going to think that you're weird or like whatever because you like to do certain things. No, like there's guys. I'm glad it's a little bit more open now. I mean, I don't like, but there's the guys that I've seen like the TikToks and stuff that where they're like, oh yeah, I like it when my girl eats my booty, like comfortable, and that's how it should be. And instead of like, if that's your thing, then that's your thing. I always say it's not my thing, but just because it's not my thing doesn't mean it can't be your thing. Maybe you don't like the hair pulling. I love the hair pulling, the choking. I love that. Maybe you don't like it. You know what I mean? Like just because I don't like it doesn't mean you can't like it. And so that's why at the end of the day, just be spicy. I guarantee you'll have a way better experience with your partner. And it's going to be overall better sex, a healthier relationship. uh, but keep that and keep it interesting. Keep introducing new things. Keep trying other things. Like the more you do that, then I'm telling you, the better it'll be. But anyways, I want to thank you guys for always tuning in every week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am gonna be in Las Vegas. I mean, this episode was already gonna come out, but if I saw you in Las Vegas, what's up? But then after Las Vegas, I'm going to Utah. I'm gonna be in Utah. We're going to a Millionaire Summit thing, and then after Utah, I'm going to be going back to Idaho for a weekend. So I'll be back in Idaho. After that, we're going to Chicago. Chicago. So I'll be in Chicago in the beginning of October. I'm going to see if I can try to do a meetup somewhere. Be like, hey, yo, I'm going to come here. If you guys want to come swing by and say what's up, I'm going to be hanging out here, right? And same goes with Austin, Texas, Rome, Texas. Where else am I? Puerto Vallarta, but I don't think I'm going to do it in Puerto Vallarta. But again, I'll always let you guys know anywhere I go. And especially here in Phoenix too, or not Phoenix, Miami, Gilbert, but Arizona. I'm going to be like, hey, yo, I'm going to go over here. If you guys want to say what's up or see your boy, say what's up. So anyways, thank you guys. Make sure you guys follow all my socials, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you guys.